Hey, so I made it to Tobago, my new home, and I'll be staying here for about 5 weeks or so, just until I get to come back and close things out before my permanent move, which should be within a couple of months. But I was just thinking about the fact that I decided to make this move, as scary as it is, and how in some ways I was kind of forced to make this move, but in other ways it's just something that needed to happen. And let me explain a little further. So I just so happen to be in a part of my life where it is easier, not easy, but easier to make a move like this because I'm an empty nester and soon to be single again. And I'm at a point in my career where it's not actually moving forward. I'm not on a track where I would need to stay and try to keep on track to get something. And while thinking about that, I realized that not everybody is going to be able to do something like this Blaxit that I have done, which is moving out of the United States completely and just completely starting a whole new life abroad. Because everybody, I only recently became able to do this. It wasn't something that I was always able to do. And so it's important that I highlight the fact that not everyone is able to do this kind of thing, and at the same time create some space for those of us who want to do something that isn't necessarily as the same as this Blaxit, moving to a whole nother country and living a whole different life. But the reason why it's important that we all do something is because life in the United States for Black women has never been that easy. But I feel like we had been making some progress moving forward to some extent. And it has come to the point where we got stalled, and I actually think that things are going backwards. And so it's important that we think about what it is that we want and how we're going to get it, despite those barriers that are being placed in our way to keep us from living our best lives. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean that there's more hustle, because a lot of us, we just like to hustle. That's our game. But at this point in time, I'm realizing that the hustle wasn't always worth it. It may have meant a few extra dollars or may have made it a little bit more possible for us to save for something big like a home or college education or something like that. But in many cases, it really did not put us in a much better position than had we not done it. And when you think about that, it means that it's not always about that hustle, and it's not always about just earning some more money. Sometimes it might be about finally exploring your passions, okay? That may or may not lead to money, because we have sacrificed, and we have learned to sacrifice for so long. And now I'm finding that for some of us, that sacrifice didn't always pan out. In some cases it did, and in many cases it did not. And so here we are at a point in time where if we want to be happy and we want to be healthy, it's time to start thinking about who we are and what we really want in life. And granted, money is very important. You can't forget about that, because you got to live. But for some of us who may have never thought in a million years about just doing something because we want to do it or because it lights up our soul, it's time. It's time, because keeping ourselves from doing that hasn't gotten us anywhere. It hasn't gotten us healthier. It hasn't taken away stress, which stress is a killer. And so why do we continue to postpone the things that we really want in life in order to, in some ways, it's not even actually for a good or a specific goal. Sometimes it's just, sacrifice for the sake of sacrifice, because that's what we learned as Black women all these years. All these years we have learned that we have to sacrifice, we have to postpone, we have to give. At what time do we get to finally experience or enjoy the fruits of our labor? Or even if there's not a lot of fruits to your labor, everything does not mean that you have to spend $1,000,000 for it. Maybe you are an aspiring artist and you just never decided to pursue that simply because of the fact that you were always down in the hustle. Maybe, just maybe, it's time to rethink that and not waste time just not living the way you want to live for what? Right now we're finding out that there's really no benefit to it. It's just lost time. And time is the only thing that cannot be replaced. You can replace money, you can replace things, but you cannot replace time. Every moment that goes by is gone forever. And it's time for us to start valuing that time in whatever that means. So, I don't want to be a person telling you, oh, just quit your job and do this, that, No, what I'm saying is make the best of what you have and make the life that you have the best that it possibly can be, so that you not only relieve stress and make your quality of life much better, but you also inadvertently make the lives of people around you much better. And while I'm not necessarily promoting it for that reason, it's just like a side effect that, you can do things, and, making your life easier as a Black woman often makes other people in your lives easier. And it's a different kind of legacy that we can bring or give or share. We've shared the legacy of the hustle. We've shared the struggle. But how about let's share the good life? It's time. It's been past time. We should have been living the good life. But whatever that means, and that could mean anything, the sky's the limit. It could mean just taking on a new hobby. It could mean, saying to hell with it and leaving the country. It could mean changing careers. It could mean starting a business. It could mean any number of different things that we have been told in the past were not very important. And I am learning right now that those things were indeed very important, and we need to take them seriously and start to prioritize them, and prioritize our happiness, and prioritize our safety, and prioritize our comfort. And that is one of the messages that I would like to share, because again, I'm not only out here for people who want to do exactly what I'm doing. There's a whole range of things that you could be doing, and I want to support all of us in whatever our endeavors are to make our lives better, because I believe that quality of life is the most important thing in our lives, despite what we have been taught, despite what we have been told, despite what the world wants us to believe about ourselves. That's some bullshit. Everybody else is out here living their best lives, and we have to be the beasts of burden. Not no more, because we see where that led to. No damn where. And so it's not too late to think. And when I say think, I mean, really dream and think about what is it that would make your life feel more fulfilling. What would make you feel happier? Happiness is not something that you just, you're lucky if you get it, and if you don't, you're not lucky, you just live with it. It's not that. You create your happiness. Create it. You can be created from nothing. But the first thing that has to happen is you have to have some sort of vision of importance for that. And in order to do that, you have to clear your mind and push aside the things that we have been told or continue to be told. Okay, so, this move here, I have had lots of support from my close family and friends, but there's been some others who have raised an eyebrow. You think I give a damn? They can keep right on living their life while I'm living my life. My best damn life in the Caribbean, okay? So think about it, and, if you got ideas you want to share, this is a safe place. Put it in the comments. Let me know what it is that you're thinking about. Just because I would just like to know what's going on out there. Like, what are other Black women doing to improve their quality of life? What are you doing to make your world better for yourself because you deserve it?